Hello Star Rail players. Today I'm making a video on how F2P friendly this game is. When I say F2P friendly, I mean that I haven't wished a single time. The only wish I've made on this account is the one that's required at the start of the game for Asta. And that's all I've done. And right now I'm at the point just after getting the Fire MC. And I would say that I've made pretty good progress. I have enough characters to have 2 teams for Forgotten Halls. I would have enough DPS to get through Simulated Universe as well, with just the base stuff that the game gives you. And to show you the little that I've had to work with throughout this whole journey so far. Very little. I'm literally only using the light cones that the game has given me so far. The one that was really annoying to get was this one for Natasha, because the only one I had before this was Find Fruit, which is okay, but it's only 6 energy for all allies at the start of battle, which only happens once, of course. If you're in a multi-stage battle with like 2 enemies, or even later on with Forgotten Halls and Simulated Universe, you won't really get much value out of this. But with this light cone, it's 8 energy every single time Natasha goes, or wherever you have this light cone on. So it'll proc more in later content of the game. Now I don't have the best, or the hunt could be better, but it's still not a bad effect. If you have, let's say, March or Fire MC, this light cone will get a lot of value. With all this value talk, it's only because I'm using only stuff that the game has given me so far. I will say that it has been pretty easy so far. The game gives you plenty enough damage with the light cones, with your relics. You don't get too badly shafted with damage in this game. And the units that you get that people don't generally consider good, so to say, like Herda and QQ here. They might not be the best, but I found that Herda so far has been pretty good for dealing with ice weakness enemies, because her follow-up attacks are really good, and they seem to be proccing pretty consistently when I need them, and doing enough damage to get the enemy's shield down before they get another attack or get a go again. I will say that if I did start this account super early on, like day 1, then I would be a bit further, but I still don't think that I would have a lot of trouble generally. I feel like most of the content that's out right now, including the last main mission, shouldn't be too hard. I feel that Simulated Universe, you know how to build and run it, shouldn't be too hard either. I feel like the only challenge that I'm gonna have to go up against right now would be Simulated Universe 3, because I haven't done that yet. 2 is okay, but 3 has me worried. Although I'm pretty sure if I run the Hunt Resonance, I should be okay. Maybe get like the one robe that increases your damage with it, I should be okay. And if not, then I can go about getting more levels for the skill tree, which would make everything from that point onwards super easy, especially Simulated Universe 6 with the final boss and how they work, because they do a few things that make having hunt and a few skill tree upgrades super easy. Lets you just kind of breeze through the boss fight. At least you might have trouble with like the elites. From here on, I think that just with what the game gives you, it seems like you can get an end game. Forgotten Halls like past 12 might be a little hard, because you won't have that. If you had Bailu here, then your Forgotten Halls would be so much easier, because you'd have a healer on each team, which if you just have generally good units like the ones that the game gives you, it would pretty much trivialize Forgotten Halls. Granted, you have built your characters right and aren't just doing auto only. Even though it is a useful feature, I don't think that when getting into late game content, it's not really the play. Now, do I think that you should do this and put yourself in a position where you haven't wished a single time? No, of course not. This is just a account to see whether or not the game gives you enough resources to get you through a majority of the content. Because I know that it may seem tempting to spend on this game. While I don't discourage it, I do just want to do this account from here onwards to show or to prove that this game is completely free to play and that you don't have to spend a dime to get where you want to be. But I will say that some of the characters aren't entirely fun to play. I get that, like, I could understand how people don't like playing March or QQ or Herda or even Serval. But it's just to see if it's possible. It's more so to prove or to show that you don't have to spend anything in this game. And if I ever hit a wall, ever get to a point where I can't progress, even with trying my best, I do think that's not so much of a problem because I haven't wished. And I'm not going to wish on this account. So if I do end up hitting a wall, I'm sure actual like F2P players like as of now, Envy, Tone, all those big streamers, big YouTube personalities, I'm sure they'll be fine if they do continue playing free to play because they've wished, they've gotten at least the guaranteed 5-star. So even with a single 5-star, I'm sure that whatever wall I hit will be completely negated because you just have that unit, whoever it may be. So generally, I think that the game is pretty heavily free-to-play friendly in a way that I haven't seen, although I haven't been into gacha games super heavily. I think that this game has really good potential for anyone that's getting into gachas and wants to go completely free to play, because I've gone through like half of the story completely free to play, and I can see myself getting to the end of the current patch sometime soon. The only thing that you would suffer from playing later into the cycle of the game, you'd be missing out on XP from when you joined, from when the game started, which isn't really much of a deterrent, I feel, because as the game stands right now, if you're really blazing through the game, you can get it done within like a week. Granted, you wouldn't be able to get through like Simulated Universe and Forgotten Halls unless you had really good pools, but I do think that getting into the game completely free to play is definitely the best option unless you see a 5-star character that you really enjoy the playstyle of. Again, I will just say that this is not to deter people from buying wishes or wailing, so to say. This is more so a video of how free to play friendly is this game. I will be updating how far I've gotten a week from now, just to show if I've gotten stuck on anything. So a week from now, I'll just have a general update on how my progress on this account is going. So if you enjoy the vision of this account and want to see more or more constant updates on how I'm doing on this account, then please let me know, because this game has been really fun so far and I would like to share just how free to play this game really is. So if you enjoy the vision I have, again, please like or just generally interact with this video at all. Thank you. I'll see you in the next.